Hello, welcome to the Elone Show. I'm your host, John Elone. In this episode, no regulars, because reasons, as always. As for our guest, he's from Lagos, Nigeria, but currently in New York City, New York State. And he works in finance tech sales. Intriguing. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Itua Beo.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, out here in New York, nice rainy day, ready to have a nice conversation. Should be fun.
Alright, nice. How's life?
How's life? Life is good. I mean, I have a bunch of very fun errands to run this weekend. That's not exactly a negative. It's nice to get outside and do things. Work's been going pretty good recently. Been enjoying some of the writing I've been doing recently, thinking about stuff for the next novel. So yeah, I think I'm in a good place overall. I really feel excited for how the year's been starting up so far.
Sweet feet. And is anything else going on in your life in the next weeks, months or so?
A lot of weddings coming up in the summer.
Oh,
A
cool.
lot of family gatherings together. Some trips, not for me, for work. I got to go to DC every couple of weeks for my new job, so that's nice. But no, and then just trying to, you know, keep the sales on the novel going strong. That's kind of main priority right now as far as my 5 to 9 or my 9 to 5 job ends. Is kind of focusing on that.
All right then. So, what inspired you to get into finance tech sales?
I really just enjoyed sort of the technical part. I'm very big on understanding processes, implementations of different ways of operating. I liked finance enough in school, but I wasn't good enough in math to major in it. So when I was able to get a job that allowed me to learn finance and combine my tech affinity, that was kind of interesting. I kind of ran with that a bit. And then, so the sales part of it, just a lot of learning. And I like being in front of people, like getting in front of clients. I like talking to people, as you can maybe tell, as part of the job that I really enjoy. So combining learning with what I had an interest in, with what I like to do as far as people to people basis, was kind of a 3-for-1 special. And then, yeah, just kind of been enjoying that role since then.
Sweet. Is it so? Have you worked for multiple companies, or have you stayed in one place most of the time?
I have worked for a couple of companies, uh, pretty much 2 years at a time, and I think I just have settled into my current company pretty well.
Okay, pretty cool. And it seems like you got a novel coming out very soon.
So the novel's out currently, actually. It's called Parade of Streetlights. It came out last year, and I have been, happy to work with the publisher Read Furiously. They've helped me a lot as far as being a first-time author, getting it out there, getting me on podcasts like this to talk about the book and my writing. So I've had that novel come out last year. I wrote the first draft of that novel way back in like 2018. So to actually have it be out last year was just a revelation, dream come true. And it's been weird being a first time author with my book out there, having it in my hand and everything, a real physical copy. It's kind of surreal.
Wow. All right then. Is there any other books or novels you're currently planning on writing right now, or about to write pretty soon?
So I am working on my second novel currently. That's working's a strong word. I have a lot of ideas and I have a lot of time to use on it, but I get back from my job and it's hard to sit down and write. So it's been slow going. I wrote the first book in like a 7 month span, the first draft of it, and this one's taken about a year to get off the ground, even by chapter two. So obviously a little bit different pace, but yeah, there's one in the works. I'm hoping to get it done by the end of this year, published by 2025. That's my personal goal, but that's a lofty endeavor. We'll see how that pans out. But yeah, no, it's in the works right now. And I've joined some writing groups recently in the city kind of meet some people, help me get some motivation, some energy to keep trucking along. So that's been helpful too.
All right then. I like that. And as an author, are there any other authors or writers that you want to collaborate with at some point?
Collaborate with, I mean, I would love to meet Juno Diaz. Are you familiar with his work?
Not sure, to be honest.
The Wondrous Life of, no, The Brief, Wonderful Life of Oscar Wilde. This is how you lose her. He's sort of this, he has this kind of mastery of conveying the character voice in a way that drives a story that I really kind of aspire to. I like to write in first person, and I really like to write. My favorite part of writing is dialogue. It always has been. I love to just kind of get conversations between characters to express, these sort of bigger story ideas. I really feel like he has sort of helped to define my style with that. I just kind of like he interjects comedy, commentary, real heartfelt moments, and just kind of the way he kind of weaves everything around these sort of core voices for these very wide spanning narratives. That's definitely how I like to envision my stories going. So he's probably my favorite writer, but I've definitely always wanted to, either meet him, work with him, maybe even, I guess he's the one I can think of I want to collaborate with. But there's other people in the space. Sally Rooney's a very good writer, millennial fiction. One of my favorite books that came out recently is by the rapper Logic. It's called Supermarket, and so I liked his music a bit before, and to find out he's a writer was pretty funny. So if I got to meet him, that'd be pretty cool overall.
Sweet. And whilst you're working in finance tech sales, what have been the high points and the low points?
Of my finance job, I mean, I'd say the high points are, just keeping the clients happy. I mean, there's not. I've been recently new to that. I had a job on a technical help desk before that, so that was kind of like my old role, and then that was kind of more about reactive work. So getting to go to proactive side of things has been better. But yeah, I mean, mostly it's a newer role, so I haven't really gotten a lot of highlights yet.
Hmm. Okay. Cool, cool. Where do you see yourself 20 years from now?
20 years from now, I mean, hopefully writing full time. Um, Besides that, living either on a California beach or New York penthouse or back in Nigeria, in Lagos somewhere. And hopefully, wife and kids and all that good stuff. Obviously, that'll be the real goal. But those are definitely where I see myself as far as location and profession. And honestly, I just want to get on the beach every once in a while. You know, that's kind of it. I get those, and I'll have a good life for myself, I guess.
Hmm. Very good, very good. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Anywhere in the world, I would live in. Where would I live? I could live anywhere in the world. One of those Greek islands. Those always just look like they had the perfect combination of weather and like natural beauty. And also, I do like Greek food, except for feta cheese. But I definitely could see myself. That would be. I would move there right now. If not there, then maybe somewhere like in not Dubai, but like maybe like somewhere in that region, I guess. Somewhere in that sort of Middle Eastern area would be really cool to live in. If not Nigeria, I would move back to. But that's more. I've lived there already, so I don't know if I want to live there again. If I had to pick anywhere, so I guess somewhere in that general Mediterranean, Middle Eastern area, pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Have you ever thought about living off the grid?
Living off the grid. I mean, I kind of like the city too much to live off the grid. I feel like you have to really enjoy being outdoors and farming and stuff to do that. And I'm just not me. I feel it would be cool for like a month. It'd be really awesome. And even if I just mean like social media wise and not being on TV and stuff, and I think I could get through my whole library of books maybe in a year, live off the grid, but I think I'd get bored eventually. I'm reminded of this one thing I saw on social media one time. Would you take $10 million to live in a cabin for a year? And obviously the answer is yes, but after that year, I'd need to watch every movie made and every TV show ever written to, recalibrate myself. So I don't think I'd be a very good candidate for that kind of thing.
Okay, all right then. Have you ever heard of a drink called banana friche?
No, I have not.
That's all right. No, I get that from a lot of people. If
What's in
you,
that drink?
well, firstly, something
Yeah.
banana flavored.
Mm.
It's also a milkshake slash smoothie, so it pretty much has all the tingly sensations in the world.
Huh. Well, now I'm curious. Okay. I could fuck with one of those.
Yeah, it sure is. If you could travel back in time, what decade would you want to live in?
Do I have to be black still in this scenario? There's some things with time travel when you're not
Oh
white that
yeah, of
yeah.
course. I
It's
can
just
understand that.
historical. I mean, if removing that, I would absolutely want to be like one of those French lords, and right before the revolution started, because those guys were going crazy. I the French Revolution is so cool to me because like of all the insane violence that they did to the noble class, but like they really deserved it. That being said, I would just go party with them for like a year and then leave right when they stormed the Bastille, and then go back to my time. I think that would be ideal. If that's a little bit too obscene of an answer, then I think I would want to live in, I guess, kind of that like 19. No, what am I thinking of right now? I'm thinking of like I want to kind of experience what that like 60s counterculture was, like that like Haight Ashbury, San Francisco, hippies, flower power, stop the war before it all kind of got shut down 68, 79 or 69. So maybe that would be like my like do that for a summer kind of thing. But either one of those. I guess in both cases I want to party. So I'm not taking this as seriously as I should be. But either French nobility before the revolution or a LSD addled hippie. One of those two. They both sound great.
Nice, very good.
Yeah.
What could you give a 40-minute presentation on without any preparation?
Oh God. A 40-minute presentation. Okay. Got it. And unfortunately, it was something anime related. I could give a 40-minute presentation on the moral complexities of the Neon Genesis Evangelion franchise. I could really delve into that. I know that that's kind of one of my or no, actually, you know what? No, of the Berserk universe, which is a manga and anime by Kentaro Miura, one of the greatest stories ever, and I could dive into the story of that for about 40 minutes. I actually a college paper I wrote was partially inspired by that manga. I got an A on it, so this probably just be my backup plan for any other time like this, an improv thing. But yeah, that's my answer. The Berserk franchise. That is embarrassing, but I can't think of a different answer. So I'll just go with that.
Fair
It's really
enough.
good, by the way. Check it out.
Yeah, cool, cool. Would you sleep on the wall or sleep on the ceiling?
Sleep on the wall or on the ceiling. I mean, wherever the bugs are less likely to come touch me, but I guess I would rather sleep on the ceiling just because it would be the trippiest way to wake up. is like not know where up and down is. I feel like if you're on a wall, it's still close enough to the ground, like obviously physically, but even in terms of like sense, like spatially, I'd rather be on the ceiling. That'd be kind of weird in a fun way.
Ah, all right then. Have you ever met anyone famous?
Yeah, I met Keenan Thompson for like 2 seconds at a concession stand at a comedy show. And one time I was driving out of the city upstate and Tracy Morgan was in his car. Obviously, I didn't talk to him. He was driving, but I definitely saw his face. I think he noticed me for a second. That's about it, though. For someone who's been in New York a long time, I haven't had a lot of like celebrity interactions, which is kind of funny. I've I'm hoping I just like save my karma up, and then one day I meet like Tom Hanks somewhere. That'll
Hmm,
probably make my week. But yeah, no, that's about it. Kean Thompson, Tracy Morgan. Yeah, those are two.
fabulous. Would you rather speak all languages or talk to animals?
I would rather talk to animals because unfortunately, I enough people speak English due to history of colonialism and American hegemony that I don't need to speak every language in the world. But if I could talk to animals, it would be like a whole new universe opening up to me. I'd suddenly understand life in the world on a deeper level. Like, what does a lion think of before it eats a gazelle? Or, like, what does my dog actually want and why won't you shut the hell up? Like, that would just be like a whole different universe of interactions. Like, if I could speak like a random African dialect, I don't know if it would enhance my life as much.
Yeah, I could see that. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Jollof rice, cow feet, and goat meat stew, uh, fried plantain, and boiled eggs. That's the whole plate. I would eat that for every meal. It would kill me in about 20 years. All the palm oil, but it would be a good death. Yeah, that'll be it.
Well, it's worth it, I guess.
Yeah.
What is the furthest you have ever been from where you were born?
I mean, born in Nigeria, I moved to America, so I guess been to California, never been to Asia. I guess California is the first I've been from where I was born. Europe is closer to Nigeria than California is, so yes, California is the furthest for sure.
Hmm, fabulous. What hobby would you get into if time and money weren't an issue?
Huh. I feel like I've always wanted to learn how to play musical instruments like trumpet or drumming. And money not so much. I think you can buy an instrument. Well, actually, no, lessons aren't cheap, so both are a factor. But I would love to just play musical instruments. I think that sounds cool. Being able to like make music from your mind into an instrument just sounds like an amazing skill that I could develop.
Yeah, indeed. What is the weather like where you are right now?
It is rainy and gross and a little cold, but overall, it's not punishing outside. It's nice. I ran some errands this morning. I don't want to leave my house again after this. I'm hoping that I will be indoors for the rest of the day. It's one of those. Maybe some hot ginger tea and a nice book or a nice Netflix show. We'll see. But yeah, it's rainy. It's glum.
Yes, I know the feeling. Which recent news story have you found most interesting?
I mean, most interesting is just how fucked up things are getting in Gaza. I mean, interesting on a sad way. Obviously, not like cool. I think I'm not gonna get into all that. That's a whole other thing. But I think as far as like other stuff I found interesting recent in the news, I recently read about some of the things to do with Neuralink, as far as like the human testing there. Like I know it's not probably not new news, but I just caught up on it. And some of the stuff about the Sora AI text to video is pretty fascinating. I'm a big cyberpunk fan, like the genre of it. So I like the idea that we're kind of hurling into that futuristic world we're not ready for yet. And I'm just very curious when the first time we're going to see a full speech by someone who didn't say the words is going to be on TV. So I guess that's what I found interesting. All this AI news is kind of fascinating to me.
Yes, technology is advancing fast.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Hmm. What was the last book you read?
That wasn't my own. The last book I read was The Sympathizer by Huang Tuan. I can't do the name properly, but it's called The Sympathizer. It was this excellent psychological spy thriller about this Viet Cong agent who gets sent to California after the Vietnam War ends to spy on the Americans. Really brilliant story structure, just amazing character writing. I love any historical period kind of story where you just kind of dive into a time and an era. It really kind of rocked me, like reading through it. And I haven't written, that was like a few months ago. I've listened to a couple of audiobooks since then, like Neuromancer and Fearly in Las Vegas on audio. But the last book I read in text was Sympathizer. And that was one of my favorite books I've read in a while.
Sweet. If someone wrote a book about you, what do you think its title would be?
Oh God. I don't know. I guess that's the title of the book about me. Um, that's a good question. I guess the title would be I don't know. A rock on loose sand. I guess that sounds so grandiose. I guess I'd say that to my friends I'm a stable person. So I'm kind of always there for people. I try to be. So I feel like that's one of my better qualities. Maybe that would be inspired for a title. So a rock on loose sand, the Itua Debo story. God, this sounds so corny. But yeah, I guess that would be it if I could think of one right now.
Cool, cool. If your mind was an island, what would it look like?
If my mind was an island, what it look like? Staten Island. That's what it would look like. Just a lot of angry Italians on it. Yeah. I'm trying to get a laugh out here. There you go. I don't. That's a good question. What would my mind look like as an island? It would be. I'm a minimalist kind of person, design wise. So I feel like I'd like a lot of sort of empty areas, white sand. Like I feel like when I'm thinking about my mind, I like to just kind of sit there for a minute because there's a lot of noise that goes on. So it's like there's a lot of noise on the outside the island, but when I'm actually able to sit there, it's like it's kind of empty, peaceful, little oasis in the middle. It's kind of centered around some quiet time. I don't have enough quiet time in my life. I talk to people all day for work and then at work and then I have people who call me. So having some time just to, even the dog is quiet enough for me. So me and my dog, that's my island in my mind, is an empty space.
Very good. What is the best way to start the morning?
It's not TikTok for 2 hours. I would know because I do that a lot of mornings on the weekends. The best way to start the morning is actually I've been doing my 5 a.m. wake up, 5:30 to 6:30 gym, 7 o'clock walk the dog, 8 o'clock leave for work. And I say that's the best way because I like a routine. So I think the best way to start a morning is a routine because for me, mornings are just so terrible that if you have a routine, you actually can just wrap your mind around it. It kind of takes away the fact you have to wake up on a Monday and start working like that's every morning, but and work for 8 hours. I don't think there's a way to get myself happy or excited about 8 hours of work. So having that routine makes the morning kind of better. Ironically, I thought I was a less of morning person. I didn't realize I just needed a really good routine to make me like mornings a little more. Sounds counterintuitive, but it works for me.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could see one movie again for the first time, what would it be?
Barry Lyndon. Oh my God, that movie was so good. It is like a painting that you guys just kind of live in for 3 hours. It's insane. And I never heard of it before, like a few months ago. And then I got the DVD from the library and I played it. And it's like a 3.5 hour movie. And I've watched long films before, but usually it's like a chore. It's like, even if they're good, it's like, okay, let's sit here. Let's really take this in. Let's focus. And I didn't need my phone for the whole 3.5 hours for this movie. I was like, I'm just locked in. This is so good. I'm just sitting here. Barry Lyndon was an experience. If so, that's like the best film I'd want to watch again because like it was such a stunning experience. As far as like things that were like cool to watch, the way I watched them, I watched The Lighthouse with my roommate in like the middle of a dark winter storm, and not sober, and it was such a extremely bizarre film to like sit through. It's not the weirdest movie ever, but it's like, oh man, so this is such a vibe for this night with this person with this kind of energy. So that was kind of cool. But it's probably Barry Lyndon. That was a special film. Stanley Kubrick is a master. Yeah.
Very good. If you had to get rid of a holiday, which would you get rid of?
Okay, well, American holidays. Let me think here. If I had to get rid of a holiday, I would probably, you know what? Actually, no. I'd want to get rid of Cinco de Mayo, but in America, because there is a Mexican holiday that apparently is like a very different thing. I think the fact that people in the Midwest put on sombreros and drink tequila all day to celebrate a battle they don't know what they're talking about is kind of dumb. It's not even racist or wrong. It's just stupid. I just think that only I think America should not have Cinco de Mayo. I don't think we should have a reason to drink margaritas and speak bad Spanish for a whole day. I think it's just insulting to everyone, including the people doing it. So I'm just gonna say that's my answer.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Like, if you don't know what you're celebrating, what's the point celebrating it to begin with?
Exactly. It's just a reason to eat Mexican food. Like that's literally all it is. It's just dumb to have it. Yeah, 100. Thank you. So I never said that out loud before. I feel seen now. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you want to have Mexican food, go to Mexico. It's that simple.
Oh my God, so true. So right
Clear as
there.
day. Madness.
Oh Christ.
Yeah. How did you spend your last birthday?
My last birthday. Oh man. So I was seeing a girl at the time. I was with my girlfriend, and we went to this place upstate. It's called Storm King Art Center. And the Storm King Art Center is this beautiful like outdoor museum type place where you have like these like statues everywhere. It's like I don't know how many acres. It's like really large, like a whole plot of land. And it's like outdoor art gallery museum. Just these stunning works. It was featured in. I first saw it in this show, Master of None, on Netflix, like 2015 era show. And they had it there. I wanted to go since I saw it. And it's just like you walk around and it's like, I'm sure they have things like this around the world, but I'd never seen one before. It's just this sort of, you can walk for like 3 hours outside in the trees in the forest. There's art. The roads between the forest are like designed. They laid out these hills in a way where if you stand on a certain height above them, they form this textured kind of wavy aesthetic. It was just magnificent. And so I just did that for like we had a whole day there and just just get some coffee, walk around. The fall, the leaves were falling. It was just wonderful. I If I wasn't driving there and back, I would have absolutely smoked it. It would have been fantastic. But yeah, no, it was wonderful. It was a good time.
Nice, very good.
Yeah.
And that is all we have for this episode. It's great to have you on Itua, talking about your works in finance, tech sales, your author works, and a lot of other things. It's been great.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You're
All
welcome.
right.
And until next time, stay tuned for more.